What is the largest ocean on Earth?
The Pacific Ocean, covering approximately 165.25 million square kilometers, more than all land masses combined.
What is the second largest ocean on Earth?
The Atlantic Ocean, covering approximately 106.46 million square kilometers.
What is the smallest and shallowest ocean?
The Arctic Ocean, with an area of about 14.06 million square kilometers.
What is the deepest point in the world's oceans?
The Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench, Pacific Ocean, at approximately 10,935 meters deep.
What is the average depth of the Pacific Ocean?
Approximately 4,280 meters, 14,040 feet.
What is the average depth of the Atlantic Ocean?
Approximately 3,646 meters, 11,962 feet.
What is the average depth of the Indian Ocean?
Approximately 3,741 meters, 12,274 feet.
What is the area of the Indian Ocean?
Approximately 70.56 million square kilometers, making it the third largest ocean.
What is the average depth of the Arctic Ocean?
Approximately 1,205 meters, 3,953 feet, the shallowest of the five oceans.
What is the largest sea in the world by area?
The Philippine Sea, with an area of approximately 5.7 million square kilometers.
What is the salinity characteristic of the Red Sea?
It is one of the saltiest seas in the world, with salinity exceeding 40 parts per thousand due to high evaporation and low freshwater inflow.
Where is the Caribbean Sea located?
In the western Atlantic Ocean, bounded by Central America, South America, and the Caribbean islands.
What is the South China Sea known for geopolitically?
It is a heavily disputed body of water containing vital shipping lanes and claimed by multiple nations including China, Vietnam, and the Philippines.
What sea lies between the Korean Peninsula and Japan?
The Sea of Japan, also called the East Sea by Korea.
Where is the Bering Sea?
Between Alaska and Russia, connecting the Pacific Ocean to the Arctic Ocean via the Bering Strait.
What is the Black Sea connected to?
It connects to the Mediterranean Sea through the Bosphorus Strait, the Sea of Marmara, and the Dardanelles.
What is the Caspian Sea?
The world's largest enclosed inland body of water, bordered by Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, and Azerbaijan.
Where is the Arabian Sea?
In the northwestern part of the Indian Ocean, between the Arabian Peninsula and the Indian subcontinent.
What is the Strait of Malacca?
A narrow waterway between the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra, Indonesia, one of the world's busiest shipping lanes.
What is the Strait of Magellan?
A navigable sea route between mainland South America and Tierra del Fuego, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans.
How long is the Suez Canal?
Approximately 193 kilometers, 120 miles, long, located entirely in Egypt.
How does the Panama Canal work?
It uses a system of locks, Gatun, Pedro Miguel, and Miraflores, to raise and lower ships 26 meters, 85 feet, above sea level through Gatun Lake.
What major expansion of the Panama Canal was completed in 2016?
The Panama Canal expansion, third set of locks, allowing passage of Neo-Panamax ships nearly 3 times the cargo capacity of the original locks.
What is the longest river in the world?
The Nile River in Africa, at approximately 6,650 kilometers, 4,130 miles, long.
What is the largest river by discharge volume?
The Amazon River in South America, discharging about 209,000 cubic meters per second, roughly 20% of all freshwater entering the oceans.
What is the longest river in Asia?
The Yangtze River, Changjiang, in China, at approximately 6,300 kilometers.
What is the longest river in Europe?
The Volga River in Russia, at approximately 3,530 kilometers.
What river system is the largest in North America by discharge?
The Mississippi-Missouri River System, draining about 3.2 million square kilometers across 31 U.S. states and 2 Canadian provinces.
What is the longest river in Australia?
The Murray River, at approximately 2,508 kilometers.
What is the Congo River known for?
It is the deepest river in the world, over 220 meters deep, and the second largest by discharge volume, located in Central Africa.
What major river flows through India and Bangladesh?
The Ganges River, approximately 2,525 kilometers long, sacred in Hinduism and draining into the Bay of Bengal.
What is the Mekong River?
A major river in Southeast Asia, approximately 4,350 kilometers long, flowing through China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam.
Name the 5 Great Lakes of North America.
Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, remembered by the acronym HOMES.
Which Great Lake is the largest by surface area?
Lake Superior, with a surface area of about 82,100 square kilometers, the largest freshwater lake by area in the world.
Which Great Lake is the deepest?
Lake Superior, with a maximum depth of 406 meters, 1,332 feet.
Which Great Lake is the shallowest?
Lake Erie, with an average depth of only 19 meters, 62 feet.
Which is the only Great Lake entirely within the United States?
Lake Michigan.
What connects the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean?
The St. Lawrence Seaway, a system of locks, canals, and channels enabling ocean-going vessels to travel from the Atlantic to the Great Lakes.
What is the Gulf Stream?
A warm, powerful ocean current originating in the Gulf of Mexico, flowing along the U.S. East Coast and across the Atlantic, warming Western Europe's climate.
What is the Kuroshio Current?
A warm North Pacific Ocean current, also called the Japan Current, that flows northeast past Japan, similar in role to the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic.
What is the Humboldt Current?
A cold ocean current flowing northward along the west coast of South America, responsible for rich marine ecosystems and cool coastal climates in Peru and Chile.
What causes ocean tides?
Tides are caused primarily by the gravitational pull of the moon and, to a lesser extent, the sun on Earth's water.
What is the difference between spring tides and neap tides?
Spring tides occur when the sun, moon, and Earth align, new/full moon, producing the highest tides. Neap tides occur at quarter moons, producing the lowest tidal range.
Where is the highest tidal range in the world?
The Bay of Fundy in Canada, with tidal ranges up to 16 meters, 53 feet.
How many high tides typically occur per day?
Most coastal locations experience 2 high tides and 2 low tides per day, semidiurnal tides, roughly every 12 hours and 25 minutes.
What is the epipelagic, sunlight, zone of the ocean?
The uppermost ocean zone from the surface to about 200 meters depth, where sunlight penetrates and most marine photosynthesis occurs.
What is the hadopelagic zone?
The deepest ocean zone, found in deep ocean trenches below 6,000 meters, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld.
What are coral reefs made of?
Coral reefs are built by colonies of tiny animals called coral polyps that secrete calcium carbonate, CaCO3, to form hard skeletons.
What is coral bleaching?
a phenomenon where corals expel their symbiotic zooxanthellae algae due to stress, especially rising water temperatures, turning white and risking death.
Name the 3 main types of coral reefs.
Fringing reefs grow close to shore, barrier reefs are separated from shore by a lagoon, and atolls are ring-shaped reefs encircling a lagoon.
What is a country's territorial sea?
A zone extending 12 nautical miles from the baseline of a coastal state, over which it has full sovereignty.
What is the exclusive economic zone, EZ?
A zone extending 200 nautical miles from the baseline, within which a coastal state has rights to explore, exploit, and manage natural resources.
What is the continental shelf in maritime law?
The seabed extending from the coast to where the continental margin drops off, up to 200 nautical miles, or further if the shelf extends naturally, where a state has sovereign rights over resources.
What treaty governs international maritime law?
The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, adopted in 1982 and effective since 1994.
What is the port of Shanghai known for?
It is the world's busiest port by cargo tonnage, located at the mouth of the Yangtze River in China.
What is the port of Singapore known for?
One of the world's busiest transshipment ports, strategically located on the Strait of Malacca, handling over 37 million TEUs annually.
What is the port of Rotterdam?
The largest port in Europe, located in the Netherlands, serving as a major gateway for European trade.
What historic port city served as a gateway to India?
Mumbai, formerly Bombay, India's busiest port, handling a large share of the country's maritime trade.
What is the Cape of Good Hope route?
A historic shipping route around the southern tip of Africa, used before the Suez Canal and still used by vessels too large for the canal.
What is the Silk Road of the Sea?
An ancient maritime trade route connecting China to Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and East Africa, facilitating trade in silk, spices, and porcelain.
What strait connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans at South America's tip?
The Drake Passage, between South America's Cape Horn and Antarctica's South Shetland Islands, one of the roughest waterways in the world.
What is the Danube River's significance?
At approximately 2,850 kilometers, it flows through 10 countries, more than any other river, serving as a major European waterway for trade and transport.
What is the significance of the Zambezi River?
The fourth longest river in Africa, 2,574 kilometers, famous for Victoria Falls, one of the largest waterfalls in the world.
What river is the primary waterway of Southeast Asia's mainland?
The Mekong River, vital for agriculture, fisheries, and transport across 6 countries.
What is the Ob River?
One of the longest rivers in Asia at approximately 3,650 kilometers, flowing through western Siberia into the Arctic Ocean.
What major river flows through Egypt?
The Nile River, the lifeblood of Egyptian civilization, flowing northward into the Mediterranean Sea.
What is the Rio de la Plata?
A wide estuary on the southeast coast of South America formed by the confluence of the Parana and Uruguay rivers, bordering Argentina and Uruguay.
What is the Benguela Current?
A cold ocean current flowing northward along the west coast of southern Africa, supporting rich fisheries off Namibia and South Africa.
What is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch?
A massive accumulation of marine debris, mostly plastics, in the North Pacific subtropical gyre, estimated to cover 1.6 million square kilometers.
What is thermohaline circulation?
A global ocean conveyor belt driven by differences in water temperature and salinity, distributing heat around the planet.
What is an estuary?
A partially enclosed coastal body of water where fresh water from rivers mixes with salt water from the ocean, creating highly productive ecosystems.
What is the Kiel Canal?
A canal in northern Germany connecting the North Sea to the Baltic Sea, approximately 98 kilometers long, one of the world's busiest artificial waterways.
What is the Grand Canal of China?
The world's longest artificial waterway, stretching about 1,776 kilometers from Beijing to Hangzhou, originally built over 2,000 years ago.
What is the Mariana Trench?
The deepest oceanic trench on Earth, located in the western Pacific Ocean east of the Mariana Islands, reaching a depth of about 10,935 meters.
What are hydrothermal vents?
Fissures on the ocean floor where geothermally heated water erupts, supporting unique ecosystems through chemosynthesis rather than photosynthesis.
What is the Coral Triangle?
A marine region in the western Pacific encompassing waters of Indonesia, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, Solomon Islands, and Timor-Leste, the global epicenter of marine biodiversity.
What is the Dead Sea?
A hypersaline lake bordered by Jordan and Israel/Palestine, with salinity around 34%, nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean, and the lowest surface elevation on land, minus 430 m.
What is the Aral Sea?
A formerly large lake in Central Asia, Kazakhstan/Uzbekistan, that has dramatically shrunk since the 1960s due to Soviet-era irrigation diversions of the Amu Darya and Syr Darya rivers.
What is the Torres Strait?
A waterway between Australia and Papua New Guinea, connecting the Coral Sea to the Arafura Sea.